rules over all things beauty and is earthy and is practical and what makes us happy, like food and wine and everything else, like fine clothes. So there you go. Venus rules everything like that. With Venus in Leo, Leo is ruled by the sun, and Leo is the fifth sign of the zodiac planets. And so Leo rules our inner life, our inner confidence, our optimism, our heart chakra, and integrity. Leo people can be leaders, can be great friends. The only problem with Leo, their downside again, is that they can be egotistical, only think about themselves. But hey, that's what Leos are here to do. In this lifetime, they've earned the right to think about themselves as long as they don't make other people feel small. Leos can be very, very good leaders, and with their kind heart, they can lead a lot of people towards greatness. Some of the best presidents have been Leos. So that's something to ponder. And a lot of times Leos get bad raps, and sometimes they deserve it. Men and women Leos are different. Men Leos can tend to be very bossy, and since it's a fixed sign, they can be very ruthless with their thoughts in terms of this is how I think, that's it. Bye bye. See you later if you don't think like I do. And female Leos can be very athletic and very take charge and very outgoing. So then the downside of Venus is being liking things too much to where you go bankrupt, spending your money on things. Also needing to be pretty, so you're willing to do all kinds of things to make yourself pretty. Plastic surgery, dye your hair, fix your nose, fix your boobs, fix your butt, fix your chest muscles, fix everything about you if you're not happy. If you have Venus that's a little bit overboard in your chart, you can go to extremes, and you know what extreme people look like when they have too much plastic surgery or when they do things that doesn't look natural because they have a warped sense of what they look like. So these things can occur on the low side of Venus. So let's talk about Venus going to sleep in Leo. Um, so if you've been following me and listening to me at all, you know that 2023, the planets are preparing us. They want us to go dig deeply into ourselves and see what makes us happy. And it's very needed. It's 2025 will bring a bunch of changes to the outer world that we may not be able to handle. We're not confident in our own life and secure in who we are. Things can happen. As you can already see, the world's in chaos again, and we were blessed to have many years of peace in our lifetime. Being born right after the Vietnam War, I understand that many wars still continued during those times, but they weren't world wars where the whole world was suffering. But we did know about those wars, and we would try to help. But still, it's not the same as peace that we had for many years of our lives growing up. And the older people can tell you why they're conservative, because they did have to deal with being hungry and not having heat and fire and things like that during the war, and people were putting in concentration camps all over the world, America included. So there were some rough times during the human era there that we did not have to endure. The majority of the world did not have to endure. But now the chaos has reached the whole world, and many people are in chaos, where 200 million people could be displaced because of global warming, because of warring factions, because of the need for more natural resources that we're running out of, because we are misusing our natural resources. We throw a lot of stuff away, and all that trash is also harming the universe. The water has tiny pieces of plastic in it. So, Venus is going to retrograde, and its pre-shadow period started on June 19th at 12 degrees at 12:12 and 12:12 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And then Venus will be retrograde in Leo, 28 degrees fully. And that begins on July 22nd at 6:33 p.m. Pacific Time, according to astrology.com. Then on September 3rd, Venus stations direct in Leo at 12 degrees again at 6:20 p.m. Pacific Time. And then Venus exits the post-retrograde phase, which started on September 3rd in Leo, and it will return to where it once was at 28 degrees Leo, where it started its retrograde on October 7th at 1:22 a.m. Pacific Time. So if you don't know about retrogrades, please go watch my ultimate guide where I talk about what retrograde means. And I like to use the term napping or hibernating, depending on how long they're napping for. Venus here is hibernating. She will be hibernating from July 22nd to September 3rd. So that's the end of July, all of August, and then just 3 days of September. So basically 5-6 weeks you'll be napping. That's a hibernation when anything is napping for 6 weeks plus or more, which a lot of the outer planets do. They take long naps. Like right now, Saturn's napping in Pisces. Somebody else is napping. Neptune's getting ready to nap in Pisces also at the end of this coming month in June. So what does it mean? So it says here, it's a ruler of pleasure, love, and relationships. Venus has a big job in astrology, helping us attract what we most desire. When Venus is direct in Leo, a fear of living life to the fullest is our MO. However, when Venus is retrograde in Leo, just as explosive as the dramas we can expect to experience. After all, Venus in the bold side of line does everything loud and big. Okay? So Leo's very creative, very passionate, likes to express themselves. And so this happening in the heart of summer, like what they're saying, astrology.com, it will feel like our inner fire has been somewhat extinguished. Now, the fixed signs are going to feel this the most. Leo with its opposite partner Aquarius, and then Aries, which is opposite partner Libra, which is ruled by Venus, right? And as this retrograde begins on July 22nd, the North Node will have shifted on July 17th into Aries and Libra. So the nodes of the sun, of the moon, will be highly invested with this Venus retrograde. And the nodes, I'll do another ultimate guide about the nodes soon, but the nodes basically are our nodes of destiny collectively as a group. And then when you're born in those nodes, collectively those children are connected through the nodes as what their guiding principle in life is going to be. So right now we're in Taurus and Scorpio, but the moon, its nodes are already transitioning into Aries and Libra. So anything that's happening with Aries and Libra right now is going to be affecting us big time. So Aries is not a fixed card, it's a cardinal sign. So with the North Node moving into there with Venus retrograde, we're really going to be asked to use our personal power, because Aries is ruled by the sun also, and Leo is in the sun sign of Leo, sunshine Leo, right? So with this happening, the North Node in Aries, fire sign, cardinal sign, and then Venus in Leo, it's really going to push us to dig deep inside of ourselves and find that confidence we have inside that we're born with and that we may have relinquished as a child due to maybe controlling parents, maybe siblings were just kind of too much for you and you just relinquished power to them so you didn't have to fight with them. Maybe you had teachers that just weren't there for the right reason and they just didn't understand you, so you kind of just ignored school for a while. These things can happen And so with Aries North Node leadership coming in with Venus asleep in Leo, we are really looking at ourselves and finding that inner power to be all we can be. All of us have an inner incredible Hulk inside of us where we can transform what we need when we need to in times of emergency. We can become bigger and stronger people to help other people. And that's what we're asking. The planets are asking, not me personally, but the planets, the cosmic realm is asking us to really reach deep into your heart and your integrity. With Venus here, you're going to be going back these degrees of Venus that it's been in for the past year. And you're going to look at it as it's been in Leo at 28 degrees retrograde. We're going to go back all the way to the 12th degree of Leo when it first entered Leo this year. So we're really going to be asked, are the things that you valuing really helping your soul's growth, your physical growth, your mental growth, your heart chakra? Are you expanding yourself in order to be of service to others? Because whatever Leo is, Leo wants to help other people. Leo is the supreme king and queen monarch. But of course, we don't believe in monarchy anymore. So the Leo isn't really a monarch now. The Leo is more of a here put on earth to show you how you can be good and how you can be bad, because they're ruled by themselves. No one rules a Leo but themselves. So if you look at a Leo person, you can see how Leo is ruling themselves and take the examples of a good Leo and a bad Leo. Are they bombastic? Are they telling you what to do? Are they spiteful? Are they negative? That's a Leo that's not owning its power and has fear in its life, which can happen to a lot of Leos if they're abused. They can lose their confidence and they can hide for a while and not do the right things. And I know. So as a Leo sun, being abused, being verbally abused, being lied to, things like that all really can ruin anyone's ego, right? So that's what we're looking at, as Venus represents kindness and love, but the bad side of Venus is also over using Venus's power by lying to people because you know they need you, because they love you, and they have unconditional love, so you know you can manipulate people. So these are some things that Venus wants you to go over in your brain these next couple of weeks, 6 weeks when it starts happening. Right now, we are already in the pre-shadow retrograde phase. So we're already feeling some things come up in our, wherever Venus hits in your chart. It could be your house, it can be your job, it can be your own personal integrity, your truth, as all Leos will be going through. And everyone that is a fixed sign will also be feeling it tremendously. And the reason it's in a fixed sign with Venus here is the last time Venus was retrograde was in Capricorn last year. And Capricorn is a cardinal sign. So back then, Venus was asking us to all look into our Saturn ruled areas of how are we managing our boundaries? Are we working towards improving ourselves on a daily basis with repetition and work that can be hard, but it is what you must do to earn the fruits of your labor, right? So back then we were being asked about that, like, are you serving yourself properly? Are you helping other people be better? Are you being able to share your emotions? Because Saturn has a hard time sharing emotions. So with Venus in there, Venus saying, are you being able to share your emotions better? Can you show love without it being hard for you, Capricorns, right? So now Leos are being asked, and since Leo is ruled by the sun, this affects all of us a little bit more than Saturn, where Venus was visiting last time. Not everyone has Capricorn. They would have felt some of it, but maybe not as much as a Capricorn or a Cancer, who's opposite of a Capricorn, right? And the surrounding and all the cardinal signs would have been affected, which have been Aries, Libra, Capricorn, and Cancer. So they would have been most affected back then. So now this time it's going to be the fixed signs that are affected: Leo, Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio. And so Venus here is saying to the fixed signs, particularly, who are going to be affected, is that has your vision of what you value, is it helping your integrity, your heart? Is it helping your optimism? Is it helping you bring in all the great visions of a Leo? Or are you being like a Leo that is like Scar in Lion King, where you are jealous and hiding who you really are, because what you really are isn't a nice person, because you think something's happened and your ego is bruised when you were younger, and so this is how you act now. You lash out because you were bruised. So the enlightened Leo is someone that doesn't blame other people any longer for their plight in life, and they forgive and understand that other people tried as hard as they can to do what they could within their own boundaries, but that's all they could do. You can't expect more than that from people. So a Leo would also be much more loyal and also understand that as a Leo, you have to show and lead by example, because you're not a cardinal sign, you're a fixed sign, and you're ruled by the sun, who never wavers, always is shining. So as a Leo, you're going to have the innate confidence and innate integrity for who you are, and you're always going to already be kind of forgiving. But as time goes on, you might not want to be forgiving. You get hard and be a tough king who, doesn't want to follow the rules because I'm the king, I'm the queen, I can do what I want. So those are the Leos that have gone off the righteous, not the righteous, the spiritual path, the path of nirvana, where you understand that everything's the way it is and everything has a purpose for why it happens, and everything shapes you into who you are, depending if you take the low road or the high road. And I can tell you right now that people are having a very difficult time, and you can see it out in the universe, in the cosmic world, how things are going wrong for a lot of people, like the submarine that basically now the experts are saying upon reflection had the same exact problem as the real Titanic, not ignoring warning signs of technical difficulties. Even as it was, the weather kept delaying, and they just had this little window, and they went in not paying attention again to the weather and the water. This is the year of the water rabbit. Water is consuming everything this year. The flooding, the snow melting from the mountains. You can't go river rafting. It's too rough. All these things that humans are like, oh, no. You must understand that we have to adapt to nature, because we have tried to control nature for so long that it's not happening anymore. Saturn is in Pisces right now. The sun is in Cancer right now. And Scorpio is moving out of the North Node, which is a huge water sign ruled by Mars and Pluto. Not a very typical water sign, the Scorpions. So there's a lot of water movement going on, to where I would not challenge water in any way. If I'm a sailboat, I wouldn't challenge the orcas that are playing, quote unquote, with your boats. So Venus going to sleep is going to affect all that, because it's in Leo, and when it goes to nap, it's going to have some meetings with other planets while it's napping, and we'll talk about that on the daily podcast that I put out. But all these meetings will also affect things in the outer world when Venus connects with the outer planets. That will also be napping by the end of August. I believe everything will be napping. And when that happens, we all must stop, smell the roses, because they don't last forever. And understand that that is the way nature works, and nature controls Earth, and we are occupying Earth. We don't control Earth, we don't control nature. We are merely people living on Earth, and no one has total control about anything. And so if men and humans continue to try and control Earth through dams, through all kinds of things, like continue to deny global warming is happening, which a lot of people are. They say, well, the Earth is always in a cycle. This was going to happen anyway, so what's the difference does it make? The difference it makes is that you can either let the Earth do what it does always anyways, and, we wouldn't know. It was just going to happen, and then, okay, that's Earth happening. But if we're the cause of it happening, then, yeah, we have to really stop that from happening, because a lot of people could die, and that's why it matters. And you have to keep trying, because that's what life is about, is keep trying to be better, to always grow your soul, to always help people, always move along. And that's what really life is about. It's not about killing each other and taking land. It's not about telling people how to dress, speak, talk, do to their bodies what they want to do. That's not what we're here for. If you can control yourself and what you need to control, then that's great. But don't try to control other people. And especially don't try to control nature. Because as you can see, nature is on a comeback, because nature is going to do what it wants anyways. It's going to rain when it wants. It's going to do everything. And maybe everything is planned, is fated. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. But it doesn't mean you can't choose the high road. So, what does Venus retrograde mean for us in 2023? As a quick recap. Look deeply inside yourself, with the sun ruling this Venus retrograde, and Venus ruling over Taurus, who has Jupiter in there right now, and Chiron, the great healer, is in Aries. With these planets around and active, we have a chance to heal ourselves psychologically, which I think we really need on Earth. We have a ton of PTSD, everyone from baby on up, and PTSD helps us to grow. Without any change, without any sudden things happening, we can't grow. Now, do we want all the bad things to happen? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when things happen, like your pet dying, that's a moment to grow emotionally and learn and be able to handle it for the next time your pet dies. Because pets don't live as long as we do. I mean, a parrot will live 50 years, but not many people have parrots. And the parrot will outlive you sometimes, right? So these are things to think about. And it's a lot of people may not want to think about it, but it doesn't matter if you do or don't, because the planets will make you slow down, will make you think about things, will affect you in certain ways to where you have to sit and slow down and think about it. It could be physical pain, it could be physical loss, it could be mental pain, mental loss, emotional pain, emotional loss, spiritual pain, spiritual loss. It can be something. But in order to avoid that pain, just sit and meditate and see what could happen. And if it does happen, how would you prepare yourself for it? These are things you have to think about as we head into the new age, which will be occurring in about 90 years. So some of us won't be here in 90 years, some of us might be. The babies being born now especially are our messengers, messages from this time period into the 90 years coming up. These babies are the ones that will start giving these messages. And some of these babies survived COVID in the womb or being born. So, and some of these kids, especially the younger kids who had to do learning when they were young in elementary school, these kids are also the messengers for the new age, because they would have been born right away, having a computer, and then having to go into lockdown, and they already knew how to use their computers, could type faster than most adults by the time they're in 4th grade. So these are the kids that we have to look at, and the first graduating class just came out of COVID. So these are things that will be setting the tone for the future. And if we do not keep up and understand and adjust and keep holding on to the same old, it will not work for you, and you'll be one of those people protesting about no abortions, no LGBTQ rights. You'll be one of those people, and really that is an argument again about trying to control other people's bodies, which will no longer be passing on to the future of our children. So that's about it for today, and I will be back again with another one. Thank you. Please subscribe, like, and follow astropod_cast at Jody Boots. Thank you. Bye.